Ghosted?
So when I was putting together the list, Ghosted is not a good movie by far. It should be on a top five worst list, not top five of April, because that would assume that it was one of the best. What was embarrassing is when I was going through all the movies in April, there was a lot that I didn't get a chance to see. So I was like, crap, like I guess I got to put it on there, but I got to put it last. Ghosted, unfortunately, is not the movie that I thought it was going to be. I thought that the premise in having Anna de Armas and I almost said Chris Pratt, Captain America, Chris Evans, and they're teaming up again for their third venture together, counting Knives Out and The Gray Man. So this is their third time working together within, I'm going to say, like a 5 year period. I love both those actors, but this movie was just doomed from the start with the writing and the jokes. And I don't know how far in depth you want to go into it, but I mean, this was just for Apple TV, like they've been pumping out a bunch of really good stuff. So this is one that I think that they maybe had their head in their hands a little bit and said, okay, let's get it out and hopefully everyone forgets about it because I know I did.
Now, don't worry about spoilers because I figure if anyone was watching a month after the movie's released, and they're watching my channel on top of that, they probably don't care about spoilers too much. So don't worry about spoilers. I want to keep it relatively fast paced, so I figure if we do 2 or 3 minutes on each movie that we're presenting, and then a little bit of back and forth talk about the movie. I did not see. I did not see this movie. It was one of my most anticipated for the month of April. This is Anna de Armas coming fresh off of a Best Actress nomination. Chris Evans, you can't go wrong with Chris Evans, the everyman. It is Captain America after all. What was it about it? Was it the writing? I mean, is it the premise of
Was
for a guy who was hired to play Captain America and to do so, he's the good-looking all-American guy. To think that a guy that doesn't lack social skills and is that good-looking would fly across the Atlantic when a girl very clearly ghosts him is that part of the premise breakdown in the film?
Whoever played this character couldn't have saved this movie. It was literally just the writing of the character of Chris Evans, and the character is written this way for him to be so needy, and they even joke around about his character being needy, but it was just too much and too forceful, and it was just at points sad to watch. But there are people like his character out there. And the only redeeming thing in this movie was the cameos. I don't know if you're gonna watch it, if you want me to just go ahead and tell you what they were, or if you've already heard about them.
Yeah, don't worry about spoilers. I mean, it's a movie that
Okay.
came out last month at this point.
So the only redeemable thing is the cameos. There was one by Falcon, Anthony Mackie, and there was one literally 2 minutes later by Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier. So all three of them are quickly in a scene together, which I definitely did not expect. And for some odd reason, Ryan Reynolds popped up at the end. But I'm assuming that happened because Chris Evans was in Free Guy, so maybe they just like swapped sets for the day. But I believe I gave this movie a 1.5 out of 5.
So what about the writing was so bad? I mean, I think with Chris Evans, we have a guy that was Captain America, the embodiment of everything America and masculineness. Is it just that it's such a hard concept to figure that someone like Chris Evans, who's that good looking and that confident, would have to go across the Atlantic Ocean to get a date after being ghosted? Like, is it just the premise that's flawed, or the writing, or what?
So
What
maybe,
part?
okay, so they set it up that they meet each other at a farmer's market and they instantly start fighting. So not like physically fighting, but like arguing. So then that turns into flirtation and they actually end up spending the entire day together, which is cute, right? You meet someone and you quickly spend the whole day with them, not even realizing where time went. Now, the premise would have made a little bit more sense to me if maybe it was like a weekend thing. Maybe he went out with her 2 or 3 times, but literally he met her for 12 hours, spent time with her, and then just decided, okay, she's not replying to my texts. I'm just gonna go because I left a tracker on her bag by accident. I'm just gonna go see what she's up to because she's not replying to my texts. And maybe I don't know, like maybe it's because it's something I wouldn't do. I really don't know. It was just too silly of a thing to dive into. Maybe if they would have set it up that they saw each other maybe 2 times, it would have been a little bit more believable. But you said it yourself, Chris Evans playing as Captain America. Actors play other types of characters too. About him being masculine though, but there was nothing masculine about him in this role. Um, but Anna de Armas, I mean, when the action comes and she has to kick someone's butt, she definitely delivers. I'm really excited to see how she is in the Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff that comes out next summer. She's really going to be able to portray her action scenes there.
And she had a really nice little cameo in the final James Bond movie for Daniel Craig. So they all kind of appear in
Yes.
each other's movies and just, fly in for a day, do a scene, scratch their back, I'll scratch yours, sort of thing. So she was the best part of Ghosted, would you say?
Definitely by far. Yes.